Hi and welcome. Good day to all of you. How to solve this puzzle or this position? This is our topic for today, and this will be our first chess analysis. The first step that we're going to do is solve it yourself first, and later we are going to analyze and I will give you the answer. You may try to set it up on a real chessboard and do not make any moves. Try to do it in your mind. Visualize. Okay? Are you ready for the answer? Let's go and start solving this position. So, what is the first step that we need to do for us to be able to understand the position and arrive on a correct conclusion or solution? The first thing that we need to know is to evaluate which side is winning by material and position. As we can see in this position, if we look at pawns, both side has two pawns each, white and black, and white has an extra knight. That is 3 points plus for white. So white is winning by material. And how about the position? If we're going to take a look at the position, the black king is already inside the center or the extended center or adjacent center or extended center. And our knight is not yet, it's already in the center, but it has to enter the opponent's camp too. So we need to move our knight forward and do some attacks. Now, if we take a look, this is the area of the attack. So the center no longer works here. Yes, it may, but our focus now is how to attack this area, the area of the black side, where there are the pawns. And the main problem is we have to find the most accurate solutions, because if we are going to try, okay, the first things that's come to our mind, and what is that? We will arrive on what we call force moves. So what are force moves? These are the obvious checks, captures, and attack. So let's try to do some of this. First, we bring the knight forward, and for example, we can check the king that way. So he may try to take the knight, and then once we get here, we can go to f5. Otherwise, if we go e7, that pawn will move, and we cannot catch him anymore. So f5. And in this position, as we can see, black can go there, and if we go f7, this is the standard pawn endings, and we want to push our pawn and promote it. But here, this is a stalemate. It's black to move. That's a stalemate. So that is the trick of black. So for example, we can also go here, but then we cannot chase away black on these squares. So it's a big problem now on how are we going to continue. So this position is known to grandmasters, masters, and for those people or students who already studied chess and games. This is a draw position. Let us also try to check other variations concerning. So knight goes to e4. So king to f8, king to f8, for example, check, goes back, we go here, we go there, check. So there's no real solution after taking the pawn or just checking the king. So how are we going to solve it? Now that we know that, wait, we cannot simply do the force moves, and it seems that it will not be effective on this kind of position. The next thing that we can use is that we can simply check for find all plans and possible moves. So what does it mean? For example, in this position, we can simply give away the knight on g5, right? So by giving away the knight on g5, he may try to capture it, or he may ignore taking the knight. So there are two possible ways that black can handle this position. So let's check. If he's going to take this knight, now we're going to go here. Black will play king h8, which are all inaccurate moves. Then king f7 suddenly became a good move. And here, if the pawn moves forward, there is a pattern that we can use here. We can get ideas from what we call king plus pawn endings. What is a king plus pawn endings? In this position, if this is white to move, the pawn can push forward, check, king will go to h7. Let's try it. And then check, and queen will deliver mate on g6. But the main question is that pawn ending can be applied on this position? The answer is yes. If this happens, white was able to deliver black in this kind of position, then white can do something that we call the pawn breakthrough. So what is a pawn breakthrough? If we are going to look at this position, there are two pawns for white and two pawns for black. But white can create a pass pawn. So the first move for white is to chase away the pawn on b7 by using diversion. So if the pawn takes this pawn on a6, this pawn will surely promote into a new queen. And don't worry about that. The queen can simply catch this pawn, or he can go this way and then take this pawn. So there's no real problem. The king is too far away from action. But if we're going to look at another solution, pawn to b6. So let's start it again. Pawn a6, pawn b6. The pawn simply takes this pawn. If the pawn takes that pawn on b6, then this pawn will surely promoted into a new queen. This is what we call the pawn breakthrough. Now the question remains that can we apply the pawn breakthrough and the king pawn endings in this position? The answer is yes. So here, pawn to h6 gave us a very strong plan of taking this pawn on g7. If he takes that pawn, this will be a push, and the king will go here, and then we simply checkmate the black king. There's a harmful material on h6 that is blocking the king's way. So let's take a look. What if he keeps on pushing the pawn on g3? So this is the time. This is one move mate, pawn to g7, and that is checkmate. So looking back, if we were able to get this position, then we can borrow ideas from the things that we already learned, like pawn breakthrough and simple king plus pawn endgames. But the main problem in this variation is that after the king, or after black took the knight on g5, if we go g7, black king will just stay on that square, and we cannot catch this pawn anymore because this will run away and became a new queen. So that is the main problem, and this is what we call pass pawn, a pawn which cannot be stopped by other pawns. So that is the main problem. So our moves here are inaccurate. But we got an idea. If ever one of the pawns can take the knight, we can have a pawn breakthrough and we could go to a king pawn endings. So, do you know now the solution? Once again, I already presented to you all the possible plans and all possible moves that you can do on this position. But the question remains that what is the most accurate way to get to that plan? Alright, are you ready for the answer? So first, the first thing that we need to do is to bring the king forward. Not letting black go on f8. So black will be prisoned on the corner. So black has to move back and forth. And now we have to bring our knight not on g5. So not bring the knight to g5, but bring it on f6 instead. Make sure that the king should be on h8. If ever we arrive on a position, for example, I'll just make ways a move. If our knight f6 would lead into a check, then this is a bad position because he can simply take the knight and we arrive to the position a while ago where it is a draw. But Going back, if this position, the king is on h8 or in the corner, this is the best time that we can put our knight to f6. And this is what we call semi-stalemating. We're going to, it looks like stalemate for black, but he has to take the knight. So this is also forcing black to take the knight, and we will create a pass pawn afterwards. And the next question remains, are we going to take this pawn or not? The answer is no. We will go to the king and pawn position where we can push this pawn, support our pass pawn, king plus pawn ending. So if he moves there, check, and then check the king. So that would be mate. So that is the solution for this problem, and I hope that you got the same solution. And I hope that you did enjoy our first analysis. So again, okay, review this position many times, and I'll be also presenting a lot more in our next videos. Hope to see you then on our next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it to your friends and your chess colleagues, chess friends. Thank you very much.
This is a Dutch defense opening A80. Alvin Bien at leadchess.org. Let's check. Today we are going to discuss how to handle middle game when you don't know what to do. My sample is from the game of mine. And here comes the game. I will not put the exact username of the C3PR, my opponent, because he is my friend. Okay, so I will not disclose his username, but instead I use something like C3PR. And if you want to check this game of mine, you have to search it to my profile. But then we're going to analyze this so that we can learn something from this very interesting game. So he starts with d4, e6, knight f3, b6. I want to a little confuse him about this opening. By the way, it's some sort of Larsen. Bishop f4, he plays London system. Okay, and followed by e3 soon. I put my bishop and attack this e4 square. He plays e3 as expected, and I play f5. I usually play f5 in my games. Knight bd2. Knight f5 is Dutch defense, so it was transposed in Dutch defense. Knight f6, extra attack on the e4 square. Now there are three pieces who's attacking the e4 square. We call that threefold attack. Bishop d3, gaining some protection for this e4, but then there are more attackers than defenders in this square. Bishop d6. Now I played bishop d6 to attack his bishop on f4. He has to decide if he's going for bishop g3 or bishop takes d6. He chose bishop takes d6, c takes d6. This is a setup that I've been playing for a lot of years. Then the problem with this setup is that the pawns are doubled. The d6 is quite weak. But we have a solution for this. He plays castles kingside. But instead, I would choose to recommend bishop c3 or bishop c4 in this line. Going forward, castle, I play d5. Now, the point of doubling the pawns is I want to push my d5, then my d6 pawn on d5, and again, create pressure on e4 square. As we can see in an opening, we have to create pressure for the opponent. squares, or area. And in this particular opening, I want to put pressure on this e4. Now, white has no choice but to play c4 later. But then, if he plays c4 somewhere like this, takes just to take note that this bishop will become active on this diagonal. Instead, white played c3. I continue my play with knight c6. I have to develop my least active piece, or my worst placed piece. He plays a4. Now, white is ready for middle game. How about black? Black is not yet ready for middle game. He has to castle first. But then here, white has something like a5. Being said, I played a6. So when he plays a5, I want to meet a5 by knight takes a5 or b5. And again, I'm controlling the light squares. He plays queen b3. After a6, he plays queen b3. And then I played rook c8. I am aware that he's going to play c4 on the next move, and I would like to meet that move with knight a5, attacking the queen and the c4 square. He plays queen a3. Now he's attacking my dark squares. My dark squares are weak, and he's preventing me from castling. One of the good things about this pawn structure is that you can play d6 and you can shut down the queen. I can able to castle, and at the same time this pawn protects two squares, two important squares. Why? White would like to move his knight on e5. He wants to capture that square so that he will be able to attack many squares in my camp. But again, after d6, I was able to control something. Two important squares for white. He plays knight b3. Now I castled. Rook f2 c1. He is ready to play this move. But again, I have knight a5, but the knight can take my knight on a5. So this is a huge problem. Okay? So here's the start of a struggle. I've completed my development, already castled and ready for middle game. But white have some problems. His queen is somewhere not good on this a3 square. And again, two of his important square are under my influence. So here, the question lies. What to do in the middle game? Now that we finished the opening part, what to do in the middle game? See it for yourself first. What are we going to do here? What will be our plans? You may check my notation, you may play it, you may pause the video and check yourself. What are the plans available for black? First things first, before we continue, you have to analyze the position before I give you solutions. Are you ready? So let's begin. Here, I saw that I have some space advantage in this position and white is somewhere limited. I also saw the possibility of playing c4, the only move that will free his game, and attacking my d pawn, right? But then, his pieces cannot move forward in my position. This is the first thing you have to do in the middle game. You have to protect your camp. You have to limit the opponent's possibilities as much as possible. But in most cases, in the huge numbers of openings, open games, semi-open games, this is not applicable because players often plays moves which are giving the opponent the opportunity to infiltrate your position, and that is natural in the course of the opening that you play. However, we have some ideas in the openings like limiting the opponent's possibilities or preventing opponent's plan, and this must be applied as much as possible. In here, I first move my g pawn. So first, I want to move pawn e5. But if I move that, my pawn on f5 will be hanging. So in that case, I have to move first to g6. And I also have in mind that soon I can attack on the king side, like playing g5 and g4. How did I came up with these ideas? In the middle game, let us remember that we need to attack. We need to compose a plan. How can we attack the opponent's camp? Why do we need to attack? We don't wait and see, because what will happen is the opponent will build up and create something for us, or he will attack us. So, in that case, we have to be the first one to attack him. But in this case, in this scenario of black, there is no immediate available attack. So we have to cook the position, okay? Or we do something that will increase our advantage or increase our activity of pieces. It's very important that we need to know what to do in a certain position. Here, black cannot force anything. But looking on this position, we can see that there are possibilities, numerous possibilities, like h6, g5, and g4, attacking the king side. Why do we came up with this plan, attacking the king side? Because as you can see, our center is stable. White cannot do anything about it except c4. But after c4 in case, I will just need to take it and push the d5 afterwards. For instance, after g6, yes, he played c4 as expected, and I took it, bishop takes, and I can play this move d5. However, we have to take the consequence of this move. For instance, white can play knight e5 himself and occupy e5. The queen will be free on this diagonal, right? So we have to check everything, all the possibilities. Going back, we know that our center is stable. Now we can redirect our attack. So that's why g5 and h6 and g5 are now available to move. Why do we need to move pawns? Because there's no way that we can attack the king side. So what my plan is, I'm going to move these pawns forward to g4, move my rook on c7, and shift it on the king side, and create some open lines. I will move my h5, h4, open the position, move the g4 to g3, and when my rook is on the g7, then it's possible now that we can open the position and soon attack white's king. So we need to exchange pawns. We also have available move like knight e5, occupying this square, this important square. And if we are able to do that, for instance, let's say he plays rook b1, which is very bad. Then I play knight e4. If he takes, pawn takes, and now our rook will be open. The important defender will be chased away. And now I can continue my plan. No need to move the g4 and h5, but we have an open file. See, after knight f1, rook to f7, then we have a pressure on f2. He has to protect that. And we can shift our pieces going to the king side and attack those pawns. And soon find a way how to open the position. See, if you have a correct direction in the middle game, then you will finally see plans. Very easy. I hope that this gives light. However, in the game, he plays c4. This is the correct response. I took it, but I did not play d5. I saw it myself that knight e5 and queen will become powerful on the dark squares. So what did I do? I played queen e7 first. He cannot push this d5. to create some damage in my position because I'll be then taking this his pawn and it is protected by the knight. Plays rook c2. He tries to attack on this file. Yes, his intention is good. He has to use the open file. And now this is the move that he hasn't seen or he have not seen. I played a5. It's a good move. Why? I am going to play knight b4 in the next move, attack the rook, and shut the queen on that a3 square. He will have a problem with the queen. And afterwards, I can continue my plan in the king side. He plays knight g5, attacking the e6 square. Again, his intention is good. It's good for him. I cannot play d5 myself. And here, I did something unnatural. You will not see this in such games. This is a decision that I have to make. I need to protect that e6 pawn, but then this is somehow connected with being creative and artistic in chess. What I did is knight to d5. But wait, bishop takes and pawn takes. He did in the game. You will have a double pawns. Yeah, that's correct. I'm now attacking the knight. The knight must respond. But in return, I have two double pawns in the center, which is weak. But here's my question. How can you define weaknesses? Really? How do you define weaknesses? Is these pawns weak? Are these pawns weak? The thing is, if you have a way to attack these pawns, then it's weak. But if there's no way, no immediate way to attack these pawns, then these are strong pawns. Right? Why? Because it attacks something, it prevents something. So this is the consequence of not paying attention to plans. As my opponent, I was able to invite the opponent into a position where he will be confused. This is my plan, this is my strategy. And as you can see, this is a product of decision, a product of skill. There is no specific principle, or I broke the principle here because there's a double pawn. But really, this helps. Okay, so this is what you need to do in the middle game. You need to redesign the game, redesign the position in your favor so that you will be able to have a comfortable position and the opponent will have an uncomfortable position. The queen is shut down, this is shut down. He has only the open file. Now I have extra tempo attacking this knight. The knight has to go back, has to defend himself, and I can continue my plan. That's the point. So let's continue the game. He plays h4, but this move really doesn't help because he starts opening his position. Advanced pawn are good for attacking but bad for defending. I play knight b4 as planned. I attack the rook. He moved rook d2. I moved the rook to c4. Now I am occupying squares in the opponent's camp and increasing my activity. He plays knight to c1. Maybe he has plan of going somewhere here and neutralizing the knight. Yes, that could be good. Rook to c8. Double the rooks. I also have this move for immediate win. But then I chose between getting material or pressuring the opponent. This is another decision that you have to make in a game. You can win material, yes, that's true. But then you really need to Find a way how to give problems to the opponent. The pressure is huge. Black is so active here. Why are you going to trade pieces? You are attacking, right? So what I did is I attacked on the queen. I was able to create attack on the queen side, confuse him on that side. But I do have plans for the king side. And I was able to do that because of my strong center, my stable center. Let's continue. Knight e2, h6. I chase away his knight. I'm attacking his knight. He moved back. I start moving the pawns, the g5, and now there are open lines for the queen. See? So it's accessible now to the king's side. There's an h file, an important h file. Knight c3 was move. He wants to occupy the v5. g4, chasing away the important defender. He moves back, but I think this knight h2 is vulnerable. It's unsafe. I will gain tempo. If I go to the h file, I will attack it with a time, with a tempo, okay, with a timing. So I move the king so that I can move the rook there, start to transfer. He moves g3, and he's planning to play rook h1 to meet my rook. I play king g6, at the same time putting my king into safety because I know attacks will be there on this particular area. So I want to stabilize my king. Rook h1, queen h7. Now the knight is passive. He cannot move here because I'll just take the rook. Queen moves there. He wants to neutralize my pieces. Queen h3. Important move so that this two piece will become stuck. Then rook goes here, going to h7. Queen f1. I move back. Another thing, we don't want to trade. Why? We are attacking. Don't want to trade. Move back. Queen g2. Considering moves like this or knight f1. I move the queen to g5. Being flexible, I want to move my rook here in replace for my queen to trade with the rook on h1. And I also want my queen to be flexible. Somewhere here or going here or here so that I can enter the position. Knight f1, rook, he traded, he goes back. Now white is defending. We we have the initiative. But then the problem is how do we continue? White was able to defend himself well, but then the show must continue. That's the point. We have to reassess the position. We still have active pieces. So as you can see, I can blow, sacrifice their rook takes e3. Okay, but then it has to be really on timing. Okay, so do not be patient. Okay, be patient. That's the point. Be patient. My problem now is the bishop. It's least active. Where are we going to place this bishop? I have a dream that someday this bishop will reach the e4 square. It will become active there. So this is one of my plan for this bishop. But the thing is, my d5 is hanging. So I have to protect this d5 first. Okay, and I have to play on the c file, of course. I want to become the king on the c file, not white. So let's continue. King f1 was played. Okay, queen moves there. I have a threat. I want the king to return here on g1. Knight p5 is played. He's attacking something in my position. I move back the king to protect the pawn. King moves back. Okay, so I move back. Okay, I'm just waiting for white to do. Okay, he moves there because of this move. It will be pinned. Okay, I'm waiting for white. What will he do? So So he moves back the knight. I move the queen. Now extra protecting this pawn. Okay. And I have this maneuver in case, or going here in case, going to c4. Rook goes there. Queen c8. If I goes here, he will trade. Now I have the chance to attack on this diagonal. There, he moves there. Rook goes back. Okay, so I play both on the queen side and king side. I was able to do it because of the stable center that I have. Space advantage. Queen d2. And now I move back the rook there, playing now on the c file. Rook c1, king g7. I want to return my king there so I can be flexible, because as you can see, this is vulnerable now, this area. The defenders are gone. They went on the queen side. King, king g6, king h1, bishop c4 first. Activity of piece. Knight goes there. Knight b3. I was able to capture the d3 square and put pressure on this. Oh, sorry, on this area. Now that is his intention. He wants to trade it with the knight, neutralizing the knight. So I took it. And now here's the thing. Queen to d8. Okay. White can play b3 and trade the rook. Yes. But what are you going to do if he plays b3? I saw this and I have something there. If he plays b3, and I will be simply taking that pawn and take the a4 next, or move the two pieces there on the h5. And again, this is activity of pieces, and he will not be able to control everything here. So he was confused, and maybe he has a short time in this part. So he played knight f1. I played rook h7. Now he is going to infiltrate here on e6. So I return, attacking the queen. He went here. Okay, he went there on a3, attacking this. So he wants my queen to commit on d6 as a defender. Now I was able to move my bishop here. Okay, but the thing is, he didn't notice it. That's the problem. He didn't notice the bishop there. Knight e3 was there. He played knight e3, then bishop to e4. After bishop to e4, the bishop is huge there. So it's very, very powerful. Now the gameplay is going back to the king side. The only thing that you need to do is go there and attack on that area, king side. So queen c2 was played and checkmate. He blocked it. There's an important defender. Queen goes there and I took it. He plays f3. I played pawn takes f3. Now queen e1 is played, and here what are we going to do? We need to finish the game. f3, f2. Good move. Creating a blockade on f2. Queen takes and mate in one. See, so this is how I was able to play the middle game and was able to compose a plan. Now everything here works because of the increasing of activity. Okay, this is quite weird that he didn't saw this bishop d3, but then I still have another move here. Rook goes to e6. Okay, maybe I can consider rook goes to e6 and queen on e1. Okay, so this is another possibility, of course. And we can also consider this one. Bishop takes, bishop goes here. on e2 and goes to f3. Again, this can be passable. Okay, but then with a short time, he was not able to see that queen takes bishop. So this, I think, this is the best move. Okay, so it's the same idea. Okay, bishop goes to f3, increasing the bishop's activity, and that is a weakness. So we have to occupy weakness using our pieces, and that's the improvement here. Okay, so again, going back on that middle game part. Okay, so where's that? So this is how I composed the plan and I was able to realize it. Again, here I want to attack on the king side and I was successful. But then I am also lucky that I was able to create uh, some sort of distraction on this queen side. I was able to get advantage there, of course, because of the stable center. So the main thing here is you should have a stable center in the middle game. Okay, and again, if we will going to continue, just a recap. Here, you have to be creative. You have to do something special in the middle game. Okay, preparation is not highlight here. I don't prepare for this. I just do it over the board. Okay, so preparation doesn't have to do with this, of course. You should really shape the game. Okay, you really need to shape the game creatively and find ways how can you confuse your opponent, how can you take advantage of the position, and play well. Important thing in the middle game, you get a comfortable position, flexible position, so you'll be able to reach endgame with no problems. And also, if you can prevent your opponent's plan, then do it. So that's the theme of this game. I hope you enjoy and don't forget to subscribe, like the video and share it. So if you really enjoy this video, please please subscribe and share it also to your friends, chess communities, and all other chess players who wants to improve their game and learn something. I am Yelvin Yan. Check out my other videos also and keep safe to all. Thank you very much for your spent time and see you on my next video. But don't forget also to check my training diaries. I have this training session. This is a stream. Okay, it was now day 9. Okay, I stopped for a while, and I was going to day 10. My rating now is 2280 in the leeches.org rapid. So kindly join me in my stream. I'm sharing my training diaries. I'm sharing everything that I learned about chess. Okay, how do I train myself in chess? So you can visit it also. So I have those stream from day 1 up to this day 9. Okay, if I able to reach this 2300 on the day 10, then I'll have a bonus to you, all of you guys. Okay, so thank you for your time and attention, and see you next time.
Welcome to our practice games. I am a guest. Start. Okay, so I'm going to analyze games. Okay, this is Scandinavian opening. So I'm gonna take this pawn. Center counter as they call it. Oh, this is unprotected, so I can easily take it. Yeah. So we are winning by more than 3 points. And I'm now go. I already took the bishop because that's unprotected. That should be supported with knight first. Knight move attacks the pawn and then only bishop go there. Now pawn g6. Let's take a look at it. So here knight and then bishop. That is the line. Now g6 is about to fianchetto this bishop. Okay, so what are we going to do with this position? Right, so we're going to continue development, of course. So knight c3, knight f3 are good moves. So let's do it. Knight f6 attacks the pawn and the queen. So first, I would like to check disrupting the position of black. The queen and the knight is attacking the pawn on d5. So I have to reconcile with this pawn or save this pawn. So he has three choices. The last choice is a bad move or even queen. One, two, three. Three moves to consider. Also, fourth move is knight. But regarding development, black can move here or knight d7 or pawn to c6. Pawn to c6 doesn't make any sense because pawn takes pawn and then knight takes pawn. Surely white is pawn up and a bishop up. That's a clear 4 points. Now my opponent isn't moving anymore. He is already disconnected. I don't know why. So let's try to wait for him. And basically, when we are winning, okay, so we already won the position. So if he goes this way, then we simply develop, and then bring out all our pieces. Okay, so let's move on to our next game. I hope this would be yeah, okay. So I'll be starting again with e4, and let's okay e5. So he did the same share. So this is a good move. I can try Rui Lopez for now with the intention of taking this knight, but the main line of Rui Lopez, this is exchange variation. So I'll be playing the non-exchange variation. It is the Archangel variation. So I'll just simply castles. My pawn is safe. Not unless black will play this and will attack my pawn in e4. But for me, I want to try the moves this c3 to d4. So the queen went there and he is trying to do something. But I think I can still do c3 and d4 on the next move. Okay, and can we try this? He's about to castle, of course. All right, so what are we going to do now? Okay, play rook e1 or else is going to castle. I can take here, but pawn takes this bishop is good already, and I also have, of course, I have d4 afterwards. So I want to eliminate one of the defender of the d4. So I'll be having how many attackers do we have? One, two, three. We have three attackers there. So one going there. Now if he takes, oh, this is a mistake. I think that's a mistake already. And take a look. I could go there and simply I can also take here, but the rook will become powerful on this open file. So that's the big problem. Oh wait, why did I move that? That's a mouse slip. Anyway, takes and pawn takes. You cannot do this because I'll just going to move there. And then once he takes, the e file is open. There's rook e1 together with the king. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. I'm about to take it. Queen takes and then rook e1. Okay, so this is opening part, and as you can see, we can get a lot of advantage because our opponent is playing too badly, and he should have castled instead. That's the point. But castling there doesn't really work. So what do you think about Queen f6 a while ago? Was this a good move? After c3 knight h6, he could have played something like knight to e7, of course. That would be much better after it takes the knight. Good retake on c6. So, but not a pawn. Okay. So b takes c6. This is a clear blunder already because we could aim for something. Now here in this position, we are winning. For instance, if he tries to not. Let's take a look. If it tries other move, let's say castle, then we can simply take, capture, capture, and bishop take. So in this position, I could go. Wait, if I go here, just a4. That's bad. So what about this move? Of course, not exchanging the queen. Knight d2, and then f4. This could be great, and the queen would love to go there if possible to attack some weaknesses. So going forward, for example, if he went here, I could easily go there. So if he wants to protect this whole rank, for instance, here taking this pawn, but this doesn't really work because, as you can see, I can play these moves there, and now he's going there, and queen, rook will try to go that way. So maybe we could do something else first. Oh yeah. What about this move? Queen f3. I think queen f3 is much better there. There. So I can go here. The main point is that I could go here. Okay, attacking this area, and then rook goes this way. So that would be, I think, good for white already. And what else he can do in this position? So this is clearly winning, or unless winning in the position, because there are several weaknesses for black, while white's pawn structure is clearly better. And the only thing matter for black is this: the bishop is stronger than the knight, so that would be a different story then. Right? So let's go and have another game. Right? I will try to play e5, and then bishop. So simply develop. Development is very important while playing chess, and then knight f6 would also be possible. I do know this line if he plays knight g5, but he didn't. Now there are two choices for this bishop, either c5 or b4, but which is better? It depends upon your plan. You should play here bishop b4 so that I can take on c3 and play d5 next, because there are three attackers now on this d5 square. So at least I can get rid of it, one of them. If he plays d3, then I'll simply take here, or simply place d5. Yes, this is the correct timing, but uh, I also wondering whether I have to play this right away. Yes, I have. I can play it. Right, eliminating the pawn. Of course, bishop won't work because of this move. That would be a big problem right away. Right, so he take it. Now let's go. Let's take the knight on. Take the pawn instead. Sorry, rather. And this is a pin. So I have a space advantage. Ready, of course. And I could have take this, yeah, and then castle. So the situation now, I have pawn and center. Okay, both of us has, but the difference is that this is an opposite bishop. So we don't want to exchange knight as much as possible. He's about to castle here, but he can't do so because queen takes pawn is always there. So I could put the bishop there and take the knight, but it would give him an open file, and this bishop is very strong. So by instinct, we are thinking this way, that whenever this pawn takes this knight, so I don't think that this is a really good idea. So what else we can do? Okay, just preparing. So once he castled there, I could play these moves. And then before that, I think f6 is much better. Now, with the bishop going here and then capturing the knight again, this would give him an open file, an open line for the rook. So I don't think that this would be very good. He castles there, and that's the time that we go g4. Now, what about a5 move? Is this a waste move? Nope. I'm planning to go this way. Where is the knight going? That's the question. He's about to go here. Oh, I see. But I could get a lot of tempo now. If he goes there, then I will attack again the knight. That way, if he goes there, then okay, the pawn wasn't here a while ago, and now it's there. That's the difference. And then I'll play this and try to, if possible, he's about to play this, and my bishop is trapped. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Mhm. So yeah, I think I could counter this way first. Once I try this, I would. Yeah. Oh, he's going that way. This is a clever guy, I think. Oh yeah. What would I do now? There. Push pawn. Okay. What are we going to do? We are now in the middle game part. We have a two pawns, but he has a very strong bishop on this diagonal, so we have to neutralize that as much as possible. Now, what would I do? That's the big question. If I allow, I think I know what to do. I can go here, knight d4. So what's the point of knight d4? If it takes it, yes, that's what I want to happen. Okay, and I could go here, there, centralizing the queen again. If it goes here, I'll just go this way. Now, I can play this move right away. So the knight has to go back, but I do have a bishop. And then I can disrupt this pawn structure, of course. So try to disrupt this pawn structure, of course, so that my rook would become active by taking here. So this is where I want to place my bishop on this diagonal. But again, let us consider the pawn because the rook isn't directly attacking the knight. So one of the things here is if you're about to attack this pawn, my bishop is ready protecting this pawn. Okay, so he's chasing me away. If I go here, it doesn't make any sense. He's going to play c4. So I think this is much better. So I could transfer there and then just so this is a waste of time, I think. Okay, and the pawn is no longer a liability. No need to protect. Oh, so he wanna go there. Okay, so I'll just wanna go here first. I would arrange my pieces. This is a backward pawn. I have f3 anytime I want to, and these are. Oh wait, so it's giving me a chance to do something. Now that retreat is the bad move because I'm planning to take this pawn and to play f3 in the next move. So I have an initiative already. Could have take the bishop instead with this move, right? So this is free, and we don't want to lose this opportunity. If he goes there, there are tons of weakness now. Now what's next? Eliminate the knight. That's next. So I can go g3. I could attack this one, okay, by moving these rooks that way. And yeah, this knight is a vital, important defensive piece which controls a lot of squares. So this must be eliminated. We're pawn up, and there's a lot of weakness in in white's position rather. There are some tons of weakness there. So first things first. Attack something. If he goes here, I'll just capture this. This will become a pass pawn. F4. I think that would be good. Alright, so this is the correct time. Capture that knight. He has to take it with a pawn. And don't let him escape. Don't let him escape. Don't let him escape. That's one thing we should always try to consider. He can't go f2. F2 check and then f3. It's very, very strong. So what would I do then here? I think this is a good move already, and I'll go into check him. Again, this would fall. If he takes this, rook takes king and then check. That's really, really huge advantage. That's a really huge advantage. So the weaknesses is a very important part of attacking. Whether you are doing a simple attack or you are doing a huge attack on an area. The pawn intends to open more space for black. Wants to open the rook, the queen's way. Of course, this rook is already pressuring d3, so what would be left for white? I'm also planning to take this pawn on g3 with check, so that would be a double check, but he didn't. So, okay, let's do it. Check. He has to go there. Now, do I need to exchange pieces? Yes, I think so. Check, 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 capture. You always try to find first move first. So check, capture, check there, and then check. Oh, that's winning already. That would eliminate. And this queen and rook are just protecting this. So promote with the queen. He has to go there. He has to uh interpose the queen or not. If not, then that would mean checkmate. Okay, that would mean checkmate right away. So cannot do so. That's check. So he has to interpose this queen. But oh, he's giving me things. So he's already mated in this position. Okay, though that's how it works. It's about to be mated, and yeah, he resigned. Signed ready. Let's play last game. So I hope you're enjoying this vlog or video demonstration or game demonstration that I'm doing. So I'll be playing black again. Now I want to play just as simple as possible and capitalize from the mistakes of my opponent. That's all. He's giving away pawn. Don't do this because these two squares are very important for white and black. You don't want to give away pawns right away on those squares. But what about gambits? Okay, considering gambits, that would be another story. If the gambit is based on a opening line, then that would look sound. But if you are just doing, for example, here, I don't know, are we going to give away our bishop or knight? That would be a double pawn right away. If we're going to interpose the knight, if we're going to interpose the knight here, the bishop is bad. So why not chase him away with using a pawn? So that's the one of the things. Yeah, and what are we going to do? We have to protect this pawn as much as possible. And I think bishop or knight is better here in this position. Knights first. Before we push the e6 and give away for this bishop, yeah, of course. If we will take here, then that would help me develop the other bishop. And I also have this move. That's a double attack. Oh, I could have played here, check. I could have played here, check, and take this. So, knight, bishop f5 is a mistake. Oh, I miss it. Sayang. Right? That's a double attack already. Or triple attack. Anyway, I was on the mindset to protect the pawn on e4. So he tries to as much as possible. Yeah, but okay, just solidify the position. That's what I want to do. This position in right now. And again, I have bishop g4 and will take away this bishop. That's so important. Though he can play f3. Oh, I think he knows what to do, right? So I'll just going this way. But I do have tactics now. So what do you think? So if the bishop goes there, I could go here, capture and capture and capture. The same time, double attack and attacking this. Did you see that? Oh, he would take here. Alright, there. He will take it with the knight. So I cannot play these moves right away. But let's take a look. Let's just wait. Let's just wait for his action. Can go there, capture, capture. So this is what you really need to do when you're playing. Basis of chess. Just weigh in possibilities. That's one. Don't ever try to push things too hard Because if we're going to do that, then he's attacking now this pawn. But I can just I can just trap the bishop on a4. That's a bad move. Again, capitalize when you're playing. Whenever you're playing with someone lower than your rating, especially 400 ratings down. So these guys, we don't know what rating do they have, but yeah, you have to capitalize from their mistake. So here, capture, capture, and then rook takes pawn. That would be next. And mhm. I also want to play this move, of course. So after this takes bishop b4. If he tries to attack here, then yo. So wait, what's best? Here or here? If I play here, we will push the pawn, and I will be forced to take the knight. So why not play this pawn move first? So when he goes there, I could play bishop b4, and that bishop is permanent on that square. So, and I want to also chase away this bishop. If he goes that way, then that's the time that I can capture on. I'm ready now for castling. So I want to go back. Chase away this bishop. If he went this way, doesn't really matter right now. Oh, wait, I have this move. And I also have this move. Did you see that? This is a straight line, so a tactic is possible on this straight line. So what would I do? Pawn takes pawn, and that is a discovery attack. My bishop is protected. Oh, he's giving away the bishop, the queen. So again, guys, this is the part one of my uh just game commentaries, and those are the things that on being considered on or what I'm thinking during the game. Opening principles, opening plans, middle game plans, and game plans, attacking, defending. So far, we haven't reached any end games, but middle game, I try to as much as possible to compress all things in the game, and I'm giving you light whenever you're playing. So whatever level you are, and I hope that you could relate and you could see this is how we think at chess. So this is a discovered attack, and we already captured the queen. What's next? What's next here is that I want to go here because that rook is quite trapped after the bishop attack on b2, and I'm going to take this pawn. If he tries rook b1, capture, and that's a pin. So here he could go there, and then I'll just take here. Yeah, wait there, and I'll just take here so that this pawn would fall, and I could have an access on that bishop. My knight would go here on d5. So those are plannings. So you have to do a plannings in advance. Let's have a another game. So these are 400, 400. Oh, let's wait for his move. Hmm. Okay, he could play any of this. Yeah. Oh, he's aborting the game. Let's have another game. Okay, I could play d4 now. And let's see what would it offer. So knight f3. And yeah, here. Queen's Gambit. Just pressure in the d pawn. That's the idea. I could go as far as here and e3, but I'm preparing simple things first. The Leningrad. I don't know if this is Leningrad. I'm not quite sure. Three knights, barman variation. As chess.com call it. By the time I move here, he's going to take my bishop, so I'll allow it for now, and then he'll try to wait. So this is another story. Okay, this is Tartakower. Oh, Bogojubo variation. But what would I do? I couldn't play this now, right? This is very rare played, and it's going this way. But wait, I can gain space advantage, but I know for sometimes about to attack my pawn. But what is the direction of the game? It's going there on the king side, where There are enough defenders actually for this king side, but um, okay, not letting him go there. Wait, there's a weakness already. So what would I do? I could play here already. I can play here already, of course, but that would be too obvious. Yeah, Bishop D3 is much better. Now, one thing you want to do here is to pressure these pawns. Right now, it is under pressure. So Bishop and Rook C1 is about to get there. Yeah, and yeah, C5. I have the C5 now. So what's next? So what's next in this? Okay, just simply build up. Just simply build up. Of course, if you can attack this C6, pressure it, then yeah. How many attackers did he has? One, two, three. One, two, three. So he's about to push this push, capture, 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 queen. And so I have to put the knight there. So by the time he takes it, I can take it with a pawn. And this will be permanently sealed. The c6 and the bishop on b7 is will be permanently tampered on those positions. C6 and bishop b7. Okay, so he didn't pay attention to that. So now, but he can play this, right? So I have to play this first. Play this first. So by the time he plays this, I could play this move. Okay. Now, what would next after this move? That's is our big question. Okay. So he's about to go this way. So I'm about to push it and play the rook on h1. But of course, considering this move, queen e4, queen going here, these are the moves that I want really make. Right next, after h5. You have to keep yourself flexible as much as possible. So now I have no problem now. Nonetheless, I will move away my knight. He could play c5, and this bishop is a very dangerous bishop on this diagonal, since that I have moved the pawns on g3 and h4. Okay, let's try to wait for his move. I think this will be the last game because I am already recording for about 28 minutes, so that you can review this a lot of time. And he's moving back, and let's see. Can I play this move? I wanna go here. Yeah, I'll just wanna do this anyway. Then play this. Now, there's one thing that I want to do. If I reach this position, bishop h6 takes pawn and then pawn to h6. If black would allow me to do that. So, if black would allow me to do that, first, okay, first station, queen g4, h5, and then only bishop h6, bishop takes pawn, and for instance, he has this knight here. Again, h5 is necessary too. Okay, queen g4, knight. Oh, so I can play this move right away. And yeah, there's no problem with this move. If he plays this, I'll simply take it. And the e6 is now is exposed. This is what I want to uh, gain on this position. There is also possibility of going here. Yeah, f5, and now I can disrupt this position, and there are now weaknesses. So where to go? f4, h3. Those are the only choices. With f4, he could play here, and then what's next? Here. Is there any problem in my position? Of course, no. But there is a bishop takes, but pawn would attack the queen right away. So I'll just go here. I think there's no immediate danger in this position. Okay, so because bishop takes pawn takes rook takes bishop is being threatened, but after bishop takes, pawn takes, then the queen is under attack first. So he has to move away his queen, say here or there. But I am now about to attack this pawn. What important is that we inflicted weaknesses in the king side position. So this is the very important thing that most probably we gained after the attack going to g4. So this is what you want to induce in the position where when you are playing, especially if you are space advantage such like this. Your space advantage here. Let's just go back. After queen e2, you're very space advantage in this position. Your bishops are well, your rook is good, so your pawns are already okay, and yeah, you have a lot of opportunities. And what's here? Knight d5 attacking my queen. So, is there any special move he's about to make? No, he is just going there now. Now going back to e2. So I'm just keep an eye on the e6. I'm about to take this. Now, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen will move here. Bishop will go c3. It would simply attack this area. Oh, he moved the rook there. So I can go here and wait. So this is very tempting. Should I take on a6 or not? That's the big question. Or should I keep the pressure? But that's an opportunity already. The only problem is that it would allow a black to play c5 on the next turn. It would allow that move. So should I give it in or not? But taking into consideration that knight takes, knight takes, queen takes, the queen is there. So when the queen is there, he cannot play this because the queen is hanging. That's a check. He has to move there. So maybe there are possibilities knight to jump there, of course. So yeah, I'll just take it. So this is the decision making. Sometimes you are bound to make a decision making during a game. So you really have to decide well, based on your instincts and your calculations, of course, whether the move that you're about to make is good or not. It depends upon you. So he took it. He could have played c5 too. But I'll take it. Bishop takes, and then just massive exchange. So check. Okay, where would he go there? Oh, that's a problem. How can he protect this? I have this one, the knight or bishop. Bishop going that way. That's the big problem. I think you should have played h8. So this is a blunder. And I'm going this way and nobody can stop me, of course. So bishop d3 and that's mate. Mating patterns. Queen and bishop mate. Can he defend that move? Can he defend those moves or this square? I don't think so. So bishop and there are no checks. Is there any check from my king? No. Only delaying attack. The bishop cannot go there, of course. Queen, so that's resignable. Nice game. Okay, from guess 1800, what 14, 24, 26. So we made the decision making a while ago in this position. We could have played also this one, and but that would cost us a pawn. But a bishop can go there, and that would expose. But our knight is hanging, so that's one big problem there. So whether you have to give away, okay, the pressure or not during a position is a question of decision making. So it's up to you again. It depends upon your abilities, your skills, your knowledge in chess. Of course, calculation also plays a lot of role. So you really have to make a sound decision based on your based on what you think is the best for this position. So for me, that's the best. So let's just explore here. Let's just explore. If we place this move, knight takes, I think it's much better. No. We could also take back knight, but again, the bishop now is well positioned, so that is what seemingly equal position for black. So I don't think that's good. If we're going to take it with a pawn, I think this is much better. Oh, that is really a bad dream. So in this position, what's next? What's the best? Okay, knight takes knight. Yeah, knight takes knight is simply good. Oh, bishop takes, but did I miss something? Wait, what about rook takes? If I go rook takes, yeah, rook takes. Oh no, that's bad. So what should I do in this position? Knight takes. Let's take a look. Oh no, doesn't give me any. Knight takes g7, I think is the best. Yeah, knight takes g7, so the bishop is hanging. So check, and if he goes there, oh, what he will do? Okay, and mhm, what would be the best? Knight e5 is the best. No, it's not. So take. I think pawn takes pawn. Oh whoa, that's bad. Yeah, again, it's a really decision making. C5 would work for black, but he capitalized based on mistake. If he goes f8, h8, then oh, the problem is the bishop, so I'm winning there. So again, the turning point here is that rook d5, and white is winning. Knight takes. So c5 is the best move for black, and knight takes g7, king takes check. And the question now, the only question now remains is how are we going to continue? Maybe I could play this bishop h6, threatening mate. And after this move, how should I continue? Oh, there's a mate. So that would be bad. So here, after this move, what's next? That's the big question. What's next? So, ito na ba? Pawn takes. Oh, only then pawn takes pawn. Okay, but again, the drop went down. What's the best? Is this check? Is the check capture? What's the best? We don't have any aid now. We cannot uh open the lines. Okay, so I think queen e5 will work. Oh, my knight is hanging. So queen e3. Is that queen e3? Yes, queen e3 is the best. And again, it's a very hard position for white. That would prolong the game, and black can still survive. He has a lot of defenders this position, so this would make sense for black. Though white is winning, really winning, but so hard for white to easily spot. Not unless white will try to consume more time, uh, trying to find the best move in every variation or in every reply or possible reply of black on the attack of white. So I hope that you did enjoy our presentation for today. I've been live not recording for 40 minutes, so please try also to send. I'll be doing a lot of this. So please do share. Please do share this to your friends and chess colleagues, chess teammates, especially for those who are starting chess, so that they can have a good guide or avenue of playing it. Right. Thank you guys, and see you on my next video like this, and more to come. If I could do it every day, then much better. Thank you and bye. Hmm. Welcome. Good day to all of you. How to solve this puzzle or this position? This is our topic for today, and this will be our first chess analysis. The first step that we're going to do is solve it yourself first, and later we are going to analyze and I will give you the answer. You may try to set it up on a real chessboard and do not make any moves. Try to do it in your mind. Visualize. Okay? Are you ready for the answer? Let's go and start solving this position. So what is the first step that we need to do for us to be able to understand the position and arrive on a correct conclusion or solution? The first thing that we need to know is to evaluate which side is winning by material and position. As we can see in this position, if we look at pawns, both side has 2 pawns each, white and black, and white has an extra knight. That is 3 points plus for white. So white is winning by material. And how about the position? If we're going to take a look at the position, the black king is already inside the center or the extended center or adjacent center or extended center. And our knight is not yet, it's already in the center, but it has to enter the opponent's camp too. So we need to move our knight forward and do some attacks. Now, if we take a look, this is the area of the attack. So the center no longer works here. Yes, it may, but our focus now is how to attack this area, the area of the black side, where there are the pawns, and the main problem is we have to find the most accurate solutions, because if we are going to try, okay, the first things that's come to our mind, and what is that? We will arrive on what we call force moves. So what are force moves? These are the obvious checks, captures, and attack. So let's try to do some of this. First, we bring the knight forward, and for example, we can check the king that way. So he may try to take the knight, and then once we get here, we can go to f5. Otherwise, if we go e7, that pawn will move and we cannot catch him anymore. So f5. And in this position, as we can see, black can go there, and if we go f7, this is the standard pawn endings, and we want to push our pawn and promote it. But here, this is a stalemate. It's black to move. That's a stalemate. So that is the trick of black. So for example, we can also go here, but then we cannot chase away black on these squares. So it's a big problem now on how are we going to continue. So this position is known to grandmasters, masters, and for those people or students who already studied chess and games, this is a draw position. Let us also try to check other variations concerning. So knight goes to e4. So king to f8, for example, check, goes back, we go here, we go there, check. So there's no real solution after taking the pawn or just checking the king. So how are we going to solve it? Now that we know that, wait, we cannot simply do the force moves, and it seems that it will not be effective on this kind of position. The next thing that we can use is that we can simply check for all, find all plans and possible moves. So what does it mean? For example, in this position, we can simply give away the knight on g5, right? So by giving away the knight on g5, he may try to capture it, or he may ignore taking the knight. So there are two possible ways that black can handle this position. So let's check. If he's going to take this knight, now we are going to go here. Black will play king h8, which are all inaccurate moves. Then king f7 suddenly became a good move. And here, if the pawn moves forward, there is a pattern that we can use here. We can get ideas from what we call king plus pawn endings. What is a king plus pawn endings? In this position, if this is white to move, the pawn can push forward, check, king will go to h7. Let's try it. And then check, and queen will deliver mate on g6. But the main question is that pawn ending can be applied on this position? The answer is yes. If this happens, white was able to deliver black in this kind of position, then white can do something that we call the pawn breakthrough. So what is a pawn breakthrough? If we are going to look at this position, there are two pawns for white and two pawns for black. But white can create a pass pawn. So the first move for white is to chase away the pawn on b7 by using diversion. So if the pawn takes this pawn on a6, this pawn will surely promote into a new queen. And don't worry about that. The queen can simply catch this pawn, or he can go this way and then take this pawn. So there's no real problem. The king is too far away from action. But if we're going to look at another solution, pawn to b6. So let's start it again. Pawn a6, pawn b6. The pawn simply takes this pawn. If the pawn takes that pawn on b6, then this pawn will surely promoted into a new queen. This is what we call the pawn breakthrough. Now the question remains that can we apply the pawn breakthrough and the king pawn endings in this position? The answer is yes. So here, pawn to h6 gave us a very strong plan of taking this pawn on g7. If he takes that pawn, this will be a push, and the king will go here, and then we simply checkmate the black king. There's a harmful material on h6 that is blocking the king's way. So let's take a look. What if he keeps on pushing the pawn on g3? So this is the time. This is one move mate, pawn to g7, and that is checkmate. So looking back, if we were able to get this position, then we can borrow ideas from the things that we already learned, like pawn breakthrough and simple king plus pawn endgames. But the main problem in this variation is that after the king, or after black took the knight on g5, if we go g7, black king will just stay on that square, and we cannot catch this pawn anymore because this will run away and became a new queen. So that is the main problem, and this is what we call pass pawn, a pawn which cannot be stopped by other pawns. So that is the main problem. So our moves here are inaccurate. But we got an idea. If ever one of the pawns can take the knight, we can have a pawn breakthrough and we could go to a king pawn endings. So, do you know now the solution? Once again, I already presented to you all the possible plans and all possible moves that you can do on this position. But the question remains that what is the most accurate way to get to that plan? Alright, are you ready for the answer? So first, the first thing that we need to do is to bring the king forward. Not letting black go on f8. So black will be prisoned on the corner. So black has to move back and forth. And now we have to bring our knight not on g5. So not bring the knight to g5, but bring it on f6 instead. Make sure that the king should be on h8. If ever we arrive on a position, for example, uh, I'll just make ways a move. If our knight f6 would lead into a check, then this is a bad position because he can simply take the knight and we arrive to the position a while ago where it is a draw. But going back, if this position the king is on h8 or in the corner, this is the best time that we can put our knight to f6. And this is what we call semi-stalemating. We're going to, it looks like stalemate for black, but he has to take the knight. So this is also forcing black to take the knight, and we will create a pass pawn afterwards. And the next question remains, are we going to take this pawn or not? The answer is no. We will go to the king and pawn position where we can push this pawn, support our pass pawn, king plus pawn ending. So if he moves there, check, and then check the king. So that would be mate. So that is the solution for this problem, and I hope that you got the same solution. And I hope that you did enjoy our first analysis. So again, okay, review this position many times, and I'll be also presenting a lot more in our next videos. Hope to see you then on our next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it to your friends and your chess colleagues, chess friends. Thank you very much.